How to know if you're training hard enough. So in this video, I'm going to teach you one principle, one sort of indicator that you're training hard enough, that you'll be glad to know is applicable to absolutely anybody. No matter who you are or what your gym goals are, this particular indicator will work for you. Likewise, it's also applicable to any exercise we do, whether we use a machine, no matter what type of brand that machine is, no matter what type of muscle that machine works, or whether we're using free weights, whether it's a barbell or a dumbbell, it doesn't matter. Or even if we're doing body weight, it doesn't matter at all. This one indicator works for literally everyone. This is what you might be thinking. How the hell can there be something that works for everyone? Like, gym and training is very nuanced. It's very individualized. It's very, it has to be tailored and bespoke to a certain person. How the hell can there be one little thing that, no matter who you are, what you're doing, is a good sign of whether you're training hard enough? Well, let me tell you what it is. The slowdown of rep speed. That is a sign of whether you're training hard enough or not. You need to ask yourself, do my reps slow down at the end of my sets? So if I'm doing a set of 10, the first 5 or so reps will be, quite quick. They'll be quite easy. But the next 5 or so, the rep speed needs to be slower. Like, it needs to be harder for me to complete that rep. Whether I'm doing let's say I'm doing a hack squat, I need to be coming up out the bottom a little bit slower. Like, it needs to be harder to come up out the bottom. Let's say I'm doing a leg extension. It needs to be harder to push that pad up. Let's say I'm doing an RDL. It needs to be harder to stand back up straight from the bottom. No matter what exercise you're doing, no matter what machine, no matter who you are, as long as your goal is to build muscle, which I'm guessing it is, right? You want more muscle, you want more strength, you want to basically be toned. All these buzzwords like, I want to be toned and I want to be bigger. All of these things come from having more muscle, right? And so if your goal is to have more muscle, your reps need to slow down towards the end of the set. Now, why is that the case? The reason that's the case is because that means those reps are actually hard enough to challenge the muscle. The body will only grow muscle if it needs to. You need to present the body a reason to grow muscle. And unfortunately, just looking in the mirror and pointing at a body part and saying like, hey, please grow, that's not a good enough reason. The body doesn't operate like that. You got to talk in the language of the body. And the language of the body is, once the body detects that it needs more muscle for a certain task, then it will grow that muscle. And so what we need to do is we need to challenge the body to the point where it realizes, oh damn, this particular exercise is quite hard. Like, my muscles we're working quite hard here. Like, we need to hurry up and grow. That would be what the muscle would be saying to itself. I know I'm really oversimplifying these things, but this is how I want you to understand it. Your muscle needs a reason to grow, and doing these hard and slow reps in which you're pulling ugly faces, these are reasons for your muscle to grow. When you do a really tough rep and you're pulling an ugly face, that is an effective rep towards muscle growth. And it's typically the last 5 reps before failure, right? Before you completely fail and can't do any more reps. It's usually the last 5 reps that are deemed effective reps. And so your goal when it comes to building muscle is to accumulate as many effective reps as you can. And so when you are trying to build muscle, you need to ask yourself, are my reps slowing down at the end of my set? If they are, that means you're pushing hard enough, you're training hard enough, and you're giving your body a big enough reason to grow. Your body will adapt to that challenge and it will build muscle. And when you come into the gym the following week, doing that exact same exercise you just done will be just a tad easier. It will be just a little bit easier because your body has built muscle to adapt to that challenge. Now, why do the reps slow down towards the end of the set? Because your muscles are tired. That's simply why. Your muscles get more tired, and so now it requires more effort to complete those reps. And as you're performing this heightened amount of effort, what's going to happen is you're going to pull ugly faces, and the reps will now be slower. They're slower because they're harder. When the reps are hard, they're slower to complete. When the reps are easy, they're quicker to complete. So like I keep repeating, you need to keep an eye out to see whether the reps at the end of your set slow down or not. If you're doing a set of 10, for example, the last 3 or 4 reps should be harder and slower and should require ugly faces. If you're doing a set of 12, the last 3 or 4 reps should be harder and slower and require ugly faces. Now, on the flip side of this, if you're able to do a set in which the reps don't slow down towards the end. They don't get harder. You don't pull ugly faces. And if anything, you could probably have a conversation throughout the entire set. I'll just tell you bluntly, that wasn't an effective set. That set did not contribute to building muscle. It might have been a good set for a warm-up. It might have been a good way just to, bring blood into the muscle. But to build muscle, that set done nothing. And let me just ramble quickly. Quick little side point here. If you go to the gym just to keep yourself sane, right? You don't have muscle building goals, but you just want to go to the gym just to blow off some steam, just to pass some time, because you know that if you weren't at the gym, you'd probably be at home, maybe doing something you shouldn't, like binge watching TV or doing a bad habit or whatever the case is. It's totally cool to go to the gym and just play around on the machines and do absolutely nothing that contributes towards building muscle, but contributes towards your mental health. That's totally cool, bro. That's totally cool. I'm not shitting on you here. If that's how you train, that's totally cool. But this particular video and the advice I'm giving here is strictly from a muscle building point of view. Like, if you actually want to build muscle, simply put, your reps can't be fast. If your reps are fast at the end of your set, then they're too easy. They're too easy, bro. They've got to be the hard reps. So this is how to know whether you're training hard enough. Do your reps slow down towards the end of the set? And do they require you to pull ugly faces to complete them?